much. Good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, July 12th, 2021. The time now is 6 p.m. and I'll call to order this regular meeting of the Town of Mead Board of Trustees. In accordance with the town's disaster declaration dated March 21, 2020, related to COVID-19 virus and the town's emergency electronic participation policy for regular and special meetings, this meeting will be held virtually in Zoom. Virtual access information, including the Zoom meeting link, has been provided on the town's website and at designated posting places at least 24 hours prior to the meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Whitlow.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Adams.
Here.
Trustee Babcock. Trustee Babcock, I can't hear you.
Brooke, can you say something so we can hear you?
Here, Steve?
Yep.
Steve, it's on our end or her end.
Have her disconnect and reconnect.
Mary, why don't you see if Steve hears us? And Trustee Fox, can you hear us? And can you say something? Sorry, we can't hear either of you.
Yeah, hold on just for a second.
Let me go in here.
Get the IT guy over
Right?
He's gone.
Nope, not my thing.
Is the microphone into the owl phone too? Try now. All right, Trustee Babcock, you can try again?
I am present. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Broadhead.
There.
Trustee Cartwright.
Here.
Trustee Fox.
Here.
Trustee Harris.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Whitlow, today is Monday, July 12th, 2021, and you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Please join me in a moment of silence for those who have passed away in the Surfside, Florida building collapse. Thank you very much for your time, and please join me now in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to review and approve agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda this evening? Is there a motion to approve the agenda as is?
I'll motion to approve the agenda as is.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Fox.
Yes.
Trustee Babcock.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next is our staff report by our town manager. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. You have my report. I did want to highlight a couple of items. Some of them I sent you all weekly email, and I just wanted to kind of follow up on a few things. First of all, I'd just like to say, thank you and goodbye to Chris Kennedy, who's leaving us for greener pastures. He's been with us for 4 years and done a fantastic job, and I'm personally really thankful for all the good work he's done. So, thanks, Chris. I'd also like to mention that we did, unfortunately, another of our officers resigned this weekend. One of our sergeants is going to retire and go into education. So, I was talking with Christiana before the meeting, and she was saying this seems to be plaguing, especially the smaller police departments. But on the bright side, we do have 2 officers that are going through all their vetting, and they should be here, early August, right, Chief?
Yes.
So, that's good to know, but you will see that we'll be advertising for a sergeant as well. So, he jinxed it last week when he told you guys that he had filled up the department, so I'll repeat him. So anyways, we're looking to refill that. At the next board meeting, we will be doing a budget amendment where we bring all the changes that you have approved over the year, and we look at revenues as well. One thing I want to give you a heads up on, Lorelei let me know we are gonna need more money for Community Day. Everything is coming in way higher than we had planned. From the fireworks to the rental of the stage, it's just, we were very surprised. You know, I guess it happens, it kinda caught up to us, but that'll be something that you'll be considering next week, or in 2 weeks. Also, I wanted to respond at the last board meeting, you asked us to look at the tower that's heading out of town, the blue tower. It's not actually a water tower, it's like, it might have been a grain tower. And Trustee Broadhead had asked us to look at what it costs to maybe go in and repaint it and perhaps put our logo on it. So Lorelei reached out, and we're looking at about $30,000 to sandblast it, repaint it, and put the logo on. It's something that we'll flesh out a little bit more, and we'll put it for your consideration in the 2022 budget. Okay, and other than that, I would also like to point out that we are getting into budget season, so you'll notice the budget calendar is attached, so you're gonna start hearing about it more and more. But I did also wanna I touched on these dates either in my previous reports, this report, or in emails, and I just want you to know you're coming up on a lot of activities this summer. July 15th, we have the Rockin' and Reelin' movie in Town Park. July 22nd, we have a concert in the park, Mojo Mama. On the 29th, we have our community center workshop for the bean plant. On August 3rd is National Night Out, and we have Narrow Gauge Band playing at that. That is gonna be a big celebration. August 5th, we have the open forum that you guys have quarterly, where we're gonna talk about streets and police. August 7th is Coffee with the Mayor, and then August 13th, we're having this regional mayor and town manager summit. So it's a busy end of July, early August. I just wanted to kind of refresh you of those dates. And with that, that's all I have if you have any questions.
We'll go to, our trustees who are not with us tonight. Trustee Babcock, do you have any questions or concerns?
I do not. I also want to say thank you so much to Chris Kennedy. We are sad to see that, but I hope the best for him in the future. And boy, did we jinx ourselves with the police department.
All right, thank you very much. Trustee Fox, do you have any questions or comments?
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Trustees, here in the room, do you have any questions or comments?
I just wanted to say, in regards to the police officers that are leaving, that email from the one guy who's going to be a chief, just kudos to you, Chief Eubanks. He had a lot of good things to say about you, and I know I really like you as a chief, and so I just wanted to point out that that he got a really good review from an employee who was exiting, and I think that's awesome. Again, kudos to you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you, Chris, for all the years that you've provided the leadership, you know, in your department, and I wish you all the best for you and your family in Black Bowie. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And To the police department, of course, I see this nice long list of items that are happening, you know, not so, what do they call it? We're not sleepy here anymore, so thank you for, and please tell the officers, thank you from all of us. We appreciate their time and their service, and, wish all the ones that are leaving us, the best of luck on all their adventures. So thank you. And Helen, thank you for the budget, and for the budget calendar. It's gonna be busy, but yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Mayor, and I almost forgot, I wanted to ask Christiana to address the, governor declaring the end of the emergency. As you know, it has an effect that now the jail is open and they can start arresting more criminals and keeping them there. And we also have the opportunity to use the Firestone facility, so those are the upsides of that. But she was just gonna address quickly, and we're gonna go into more detail in the next meeting.
Welcome, and for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. So with the governor's ending the state's disaster declaration, as you know, you also have a local Mead disaster declaration. And so at your next meeting, at a work session, I believe, the discussion topics for you guys, just to give you a heads up, will be, you know, what, if anything, to do, with that, local disaster declaration. And also because meetings are right now being held virtually pursuant to your local disaster declaration, how to move forward with meetings and how you guys want that to look like. So those are kind of the, related topics, I guess, the local disaster declaration and also, how to continue meetings, if you want to continue in hybrid, if you want to, change that in any way. But those will be discussion points and we'll look for direction from you guys.
Thank you. Anything else? Alright. Thank you. We'll move on to our informational item tonight. We have a citizen initiative representative, Mr. Pontois. And trying to pronounce names here.
Tom Wozinski.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm here on behalf of Mark Post.
Okay, I've asked Mary Strutt, our town clerk, to discuss the initiatives in general first, and then we'll hear from our sponsors here tonight. Mary?
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. So, yes, I did pass out to the board members that are here, the Citizens Initiative General Information, which was in your board packet on June 14th. So you've had it, in a previous board packet. But I just wanted to bring up this information briefly. Basically, in Colorado, to get an item on the ballot, either a legislative body can put something on the ballot, so the Board of Trustees could put things on the ballot themselves, or citizens can bring forth an initiative to put an item on the ballot. And that's where we're at today. These citizens have asked to put this initiative on the ballot. The way that works, they have to follow some laws that are in there. They have to get a petition and they have to get signatures on the petition. The petition has to be a specific form and it has to be approved by the town clerk. So they did their petition, we worked together on it a couple of times to get it correct and it has been approved to form. Now they're going out and getting signatures. They have to get 5% of the registered voters to sign the signature before it could be considered to go on the ballot. And I did just receive on Friday from Wells County an updated voter list, and we have, as of Friday, 3,843 registered electors in the town of Mead. That's up 300 from last year, so that's kind of interesting. It's up 315 from last year. So they're out getting signatures right now, and if they turn it in with the signatures, then the signatures all get verified, and then the petition gets presented to the board to put on the ballot. Okay? Their goal, we're gonna talk about timing, their goal is to try to get it onto the November ballot because more people vote then. If not, if they're late and don't get it in, then it would be a special election that we would hold to do it. Okay? I think that's about all I have for just general on a citizens initiative, but I've worked with Autumn and Tom over the last month or two, and they're here to present some information to you.
All right, you have the floor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. First of all, we want to thank Ms. Mayor and the trustees.
Yeah, let's turn it.
There's a little button on the front that shows a talk signal now.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
And if you could, before you start, state your name and an address, and it could be a business address.
All right, my name is Tom Wolzinski, and, I live in, Loveland, Colorado. I currently have, 3 dispensaries in Fort Collins area, Garden City, and I'm in Trinidad, Colorado, with cultivations of which, Mr. Todd is one of my partners, as well as, Mr. Post, who lives here in the town of Mead and who's on a petition. And with that said, I want to thank the mayor for allowing us to come in today, along with all the trustees. It's been a real eye-opening experience going door to door through your wonderful town and speaking with a lot of your citizens. We're learning a lot. We've had great conversations. To date, we're over halfway with all of our signatures, and we'll probably get the rest of them this week. Because we have a lot of folks who are telling us to come back when their spouses are home to get the signatures. But what we're trying to do here is we are trying to get a couple of cannabis operations, dispensaries here in Mead. I went straight to it and tell you this is the goal of what we're trying to do, but it's not the end goal. If we can do this and place them strategically here in Mead, I-25, 66, somewhere where we can keep them out of the town.
Recording in progress.
Sorry.
They're listening. But our goal is if we can get them outside of town, we can get by with a couple of dispensaries, or as many as you would like to allow, but keep them limited, and we can generate the sales tax. Probably the same amount of sales tax that Longmont can generate with 6. We can generate with a few here and take advantage of the traffic in the location of the city, the town of Mead. We do have an access right here on I-25, which lends itself to being able to keep the stores outside and generate quite a bit of sales tax. Now, we can after we're done here, we can talk about sales tax. I'm very familiar with it because I pay the state quite a bit of sales tax. So I can tell you to give you an idea of what you can expect if you hit certain numbers and so on. But when we're out there talking to the citizens, what we're out there doing is we're promoting the benefits of the taxes for the city of Mead, or town of Mead. There are a lot of things that the other towns and cities that we're in use the sales tax for, and it benefits them considerably, such as community centers, money for social programs for seniors, preschool programs for children, programs for single mothers, single parents, programs for beautifications of the towns or the cities, which includes fixing potholes and fixing roads. But there's a lot of different things that the cities and towns across Colorado can use these tax funds for, and it's been very beneficial. So with that said, I don't know if Autumn has anything to say, but that is what we're trying to do. We're out and about the town, so if you see us, wave to us or not. But we've been I can say that the citizens also have been very respectful of us coming door to door. If we see no solicitation, we don't bother them. But we do have some great conversations, even with folks who are against it. And it's been fantastic, so thank you very much. And again, any questions, please.
Trustee Babcock, do you have any questions?
Well, I would like to say that I actually had my doorbell rung by one of the gentlemen, and we did have a lengthy conversation because at first he was making it sound like the town was going after this. So I just want to make sure that as they're going door to door, that they are clear that who they are and that they are bringing it forward on their own behalf. But besides that, I think it's great that they want something and they are taking the initiative in a citizens petition to put it on the ballots, and that's where things like this should be, where the voters can choose. So that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Trustee Fox, do you have any questions?
Not a question, but from a comment. I got the door knock as well and got the same story. I may not have been as articulate as Trustee Babcock was, because I quite candidly felt like they were not being straightforward. But other than that, I agree with everything that Brooke just said. That's what we're here for. That's what the process is designed for. So that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Any trustees here? Questions? Go ahead.
At this point in time, we have ordinances against dispensaries inside the town. We would have to address those as a board also, is that correct? In order for them to be, even if everything passes, the ordinances would be in place, is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Any conflicting ordinance would then need to be addressed by the Board of Trustees. That's right.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, cause I guess ultimately, and I don't wanna say this in a bad way, but the board kinda holds all the cards. Even if the citizen initiative is successful, there's still a whole nother hurdle that would have to be cleared in order for us to be able to allow you to be in the town. And I don't think we've had that discussion with this board.
I think our petition says to withdraw that ordinance in the petition in the ballot.
Okay.
So that would go away.
Okay. I haven't seen the petition, so I'm not aware of what's on it, so, all right, thank you.
I just have a couple questions, if you don't mind. I've heard that Firestone is going through the same thing. Are you currently working with them? Are you doing a petition for them?
No, we are not doing a petition for them, but I have consulted with them.
Okay.
And we have spoken to them.
Okay. Are there any other communities around us that you're working with for petitions to, or just?
Just the city of Loveland
Okay.
right now, but we've been working with them for a few years. We had a store there one time, and when they voted us out, we lost our stores, but we've been working with them every year for the last 10 years.
So the biggest question I have is why Mead?
The reason why we like Mead is because actually it was Mark Post, one of your citizens, who actually works for me and actually is a partner of ours in the Trinidad operation. He's the one who brought it to our attention and gave us kind of a history of what Mead has been through the last few years of trying to get it passed.
Yeah.
And he, as an owner, he came to me. He likes our operations. He thinks we'd be a great fit for Mead. I'm a Colorado guy, graduated from Centaurus High School in Lafayette, and I've been around Mead for a long time, and we have friends here, and when we spoke to Mary and a few people about what's going on with the development of Mead and the intersections and kind of the overall infrastructure of Mead, and it felt like it might be a good fit for us to be here, because I'm looking to expand my brand, and if I come into Mead, I'd love to build a brand new building with a nice image, professional, and present something that's people would be proud of here in Mead, that people would come and visit, stop along the interstate. So that's why we kind of chose Mead.
All right, thank you. I wish you all the luck.
Trustee Babcock has some hands.
Oh, sure. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the screen, so sorry. Trustee Babcock, you have your hand up?
I do, and I'm sorry, I wanted to go at the end, but on what Trustee Cartwright said, if the petition repeals those ordinances, it doesn't just open the doors for them to put dispensaries anywhere. There is a process that we at the board would have to go through to make sure that the correct I guess, guidelines are on the books for them to operate and tax and whatnot in the town. Is that not correct? Can somebody clarify that, like Mary or Helen, please?
Christiana, if I could, I've talked to Attorney McCaskill about this before, so we've talked about this a couple of times. So the citizens initiative, as worded, would repeal our ban on marijuana, and it would put the regulations forth that are in the petition. However, it's probably recommended that the board consider a moratorium at least, while we consider regulation for it. So, and that is legal, and Mr. McCaskill said that would be the process we would probably go through.
Brooke, did you hear all of that?
Yes, thank you, that helps.
All right, any other discussion tonight? Yes, sir.
Can I comment on that as well? Because we've been through this with a couple of different municipalities, and everything is correct. It has to go through. In our petition, we put the outlines of the state guidelines so that everything is really clear, because the state has very clear rules and regulations, and they're very strict. There's, nobody's trying to cut any corners here. So that is in place in the petition. But also, once it gets approved, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of legwork. And that's where we come into play as well on setting with you, working out, guidelines. Because obviously, you've got to have restrictions in place to allow a few. If you don't, you're going to be like Trinidad, Colorado with 22 dispensaries, So, and that's because they made some mistakes in the beginning years ago. But now there are consultants out there. Actually, we were contacted when we met with Firestone. They are working with an attorney out of Boulder who's a consultant to municipalities strictly for helping them put together their rules and regulations. And we would be very happy to introduce you to Bill. He's a very professional, and he's worked with a lot of them here in Colorado. So there are folks out there and consultants who actually also work with the municipalities so that they nail it down, so that there's no loopholes, and you can close those areas and actually define exactly where you want them to go and the restrictions.
All right, well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all of your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to our first public comment of the evening. The board welcomes public comment for any item, whether it's on the agenda or not. The board will listen to your comments and take them into consideration. If you desire conversation, please email the board or town manager, or attend the quarterly open forums or monthly copy with the mayor. If you are with us virtually, please indicate by raising your hand to speak. When you're recognized, please state your name and address for the record. Is there anybody with us virtually that would like to speak at this first public comment period? All right, anyone in the room with us tonight? Jean?
My name is Jean Bratcher, and I live at 3465 Elderberry Lane, up in Bellevue. So when I was looking at the packet on the consent agenda, it had the hazard mitigation. And I don't know if this is the right thing, but I always thought that ever since they closed the frontage road, that we're kind of trapped if we ever, like Boulder Scientific, not to be harsh, but if Boulder Scientific ever blew up, we would kind of almost be trapped unless we could, I guess you could go up 7, but if it's all muddy and snowy, that road may not be passable. We could try to go out 38, but that kind of gets crazy around Highland. So I was hoping that maybe in the plan, you could think about helping or encouraging Weld County to either pave 7 past that, or even, I think it's 36 going west, although it gets a little janky around Highland. Just, there's so many houses out there now, especially with Highlands coming in, that if there was ever like a disaster, we couldn't have one get out, you have to go through town. And it gets kind of crazy that way. So, and if everybody's trying to go the same way, it could be, it's just a fear I have that if something bad happens, Murphy's Law, if you prepare, nothing bad will ever happen. So that was just my concern. Is that, so when you're, and if that even applies to the hazard mitigation, that's something to put on the planning, I know, 9.5 was supposed to come in, but that could be years, you know how things take, so I just sometimes feel trapped when since we live over there with 9.5 closed, or the frontage road closed, so, that's all.
Thanks, Jean. We have been working for quite some time on our hazard mitigation plan, and it's actually a monthly call, right, Mary? Monthly call that we work with Will County, specifically for Mead and businesses and residents. And I don't know how to address it more than that, but we've been working really hard on a plan for just that too. And so if Helen or Mary or Chief, we're all on the same kind of, and Erica too, we're all on the monthly call that we're trying to get a better sense of something, if something happens, and we work directly with Boulder Scientific on, various situations or, you know, mock kind of situations. And so we've been working really hard on trying to figure out what part, we don't want it to happen, but to have a plan in place. And we kind of follow the strings of Weld County, what they do, since we don't have our own mitigation person that deals directly with that, but that's kind of an overall kind of answer to your question, and we're working hard, and as soon as that happens, we can do more of that. Do you wanna add to that? Because we've been working really hard, and it's one of my pet peeves for many years on disaster, especially after the flood that we had, and we were the island, and everybody around us were not doing very well. But Helen?
Yes,
add to
and
that?
I'm glad that, Jean brought this up. We also meet with Boulder Scientific at least once a year, and sometimes twice a year, to talk about disaster planning. I think though this is even bigger than just if there were some incident there. We're also going to see, as we finally get our segment 5 of Long I-25 funded, you're gonna see a lot of traffic coming off I-25 and using the closest parallel route, which is 7. So she brings up a great point. We all know that segment of the rattles your teeth when you're heading north or south. And it's a conversation generally we have with CDOT every time we talk to them about what's going on I-25. I think it's gonna be exacerbated as time goes by, especially as the traffic, as we start seeing it'll probably take 2 or 3 years to do our segment. So, thanks for bringing it up. We're gonna keep the conversation going, particularly on opening up 7. And then some people won't like that, because some people don't want it to be opened up, because then there'll be a lot more traffic, but we'll definitely look at it, because it is the most direct route to Thursday.
I was just gonna ask, so in the same thing for the consent agenda, the postal annex, is it postal or postal annexation that we're looking at doing? I mean, that's a huge chunk of property that's gonna be a lot of industrial, according to what we were looking at. Is that, I mean, are they planning their access? Where's their access going to be for that giant thing? I mean, I'm sure that this is something that you guys haven't necessarily looked at, but that could affect could that affect like I-25 possibly getting an exit there, or is that like a never going to happen type of thing, or what does that annexation have, if any, effect on traffic?
So that annexation, I guess I would argue, based on the use of it, it probably won't have much impact on the traffic, particularly on the west side. The access point of the first, it's a large tract that's gonna be annexed, and the first piece, you'll see as a site plan that's gonna come in. My understanding is they will have to improve 36 up to their entrance point, but as part of their ultimate development of that property, they have to build a segment of 9.5. You know, each development as it comes in pays its own way, and also is building 9.5. But I would say more significantly than the postal annexation, if you go north of the Turion, which came in here and you all reviewed it, that's already been annexed. But they are gonna build an entire mile of 9.5 as part of their development. And they are very interested in promoting the idea of a new interchange at 38. And so I anticipate they're coming in and asking the board to write a letter of support because as any of you know, who were involved in the I-25 EIS, the environmental impact statement that was done, it took about 12 years. They did not include 38 as an interchange. So it needs to be cleared environmentally, which takes a couple of years. So if we can get that on the radar, it would be a future project, but we have to get local agencies reaching out to want it. So, it's important to know that that frontage road is basically closed. So you can't go northbound, those trucks coming out of FedEx have to go southbound, and if they have to head northbound, they have to turn around and go northbound. So we're working with them on some improvements there to make sure that's safe as well. Sorry to ramble on, but transportation's one of my favorite subjects.
Can I add on to the ACP for the 9.5, because we worked on that for quite some time, and so that's the plan that they go off of. So once we have, that's where they go off, where that road is gonna be, so that's their model, you know, and I keep doing this, cause that's what it's gonna look like for sure, but whatever. Hopefully it'll be this way, but you know, the hills and Curion and Berthoud is gonna be like this, so that's why I keep doing this, cause I see the hills. But thank you for bringing it up, because as we go forward, there's gonna be multiple transportation issues with I-25 on how we get around, and when they start shutting off 60 and 56, and how we're gonna move people, you know, when those areas get shut off, then how are we going to deal with it up and down our roads too? So, thank you for bringing it up, even though it's a different kind of subject, but it's all in that same pattern of keeping people safe. So, thank you, Helen. Do you have anything, Karen? Lee? Okay. Alright. Speaking of consent agenda, that's next. The consent agenda contains items which are considered routine and enacted in one motion and vote. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Brumhead.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Fox.
Yes.
Trustee Babcock.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. Next is our new business for the evening, resolution number 39-R-2021. To be presented by our town engineer, public works director, Karen Johnson. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, good evening. This item is to award the contract for improvements at the Highland Lake Park. We released a bid package in early June and we received 4 bids. The apparent low bidder is Arrow J Landscaping, and staff is recommending award to them tonight. The bid package included a base bid and 4 alternates. Those alternates were a larger restroom, additional parking, replacement of the shade structure, and the boat ramp. And we've prioritized those to fit within our budget, and so we've elected to complete the base bid plus an expanded parking area on the north side of the park. Those 2 items total $328,575. Just on a side note, we have a separate design and construction effort plan relative to the fishing pier, for which we have a fisheries fund grant. So that will be coming before you under a separate cover. So that's not included in this project. The total approved park improvement budget was $617,000, some of which we'll be using for the pier. This contract before you tonight again is $328,575, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments?
Well, I do, I was just curious, so south parking, where was south parking going to be?
So yeah, there was
Looking
some.
at that thinking, where in the heck is anybody parking on the south of that place?
Yeah, it's all on the north end of the project, but there's area around kind of where the boat ramp is, we're calling that the south portion of the parking lot, and then north of there, closer to 36 is
Where the
what
old
we're
house
calling-
was, right?
Yes.
That's where we're putting the parking lot, is where the old house was.
Yes.
Okay. And then the restroom is gonna be, it's not gonna be a traditional one, right? Cause cause the water table's too high, like we can't do a,
There's no plumbing, it's just a vault toilet, similar to what we have at other parks.
is it gonna be like an actual building?
It's an actual building.
An actual building, okay. So is it gonna be one then that has to be, that we have to be just serviced
Yes.
occasionally? Okay. Have we, we demolished a building, could we not put plumbing out there? I mean, didn't we get a water tap out there?
We do have a water tap, we don't have sewer service there, there's no mainline sewer
Oh, it's
there.
on septic. Oh, so that doesn't make any sense for us to use septic, that's what it is. Okay, I was just trying to figure out what the restroom.
Recording stopped.
Okay then. Okay, that was my 2 questions, I was just kind of wondering in my head what these things were, so.
Trustee Babcock, trustee Fox, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, no.
Thank you. Trustee Babcock, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Okay, is there a motion regarding resolution number 39-R-2021?
I'll move to adopt resolution number 39-R-2021. Resolution of the Town of Mead, Colorado, approving a contract award to Arrow J Landscape and Design, Inc. for the Highland Lake Park project for an amount not to exceed $328,575.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Cartwright?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Adams?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Babcock?
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead?
Yes.
Trustee Fox?
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Motion carries. We'll move on to our second public comment of the evening. For this second public comment period, again, please raise your hand to speak when you're recognized. State your name and address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone for the second public comment period? Move on to elected official reports. Any of the town trustees would like to bring up anything tonight? Oh, it's my turn. I just wanted to make sure that, we have a busy month ahead of us, and I just wanted to say thank you to staff. Again, Chris, good luck to you and your endeavors, and have fun with all those little children. Thank you to the board for your time. Thank you, trustee Babcock and Fox, for being with us tonight. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Babcock?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Adams?
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead?
Yes.
Trustee Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright?
Yes.
Trustee Fox?
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow?
Yes. Thank you. The July 12th, 2021 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned at 6:43. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good evening.